Okay, we got to hear from Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni at the NFL Combine press conference. However, what he said about James Bradberry had Eagle fans in their feelings. But what he said about being aggressive this year at NFL free agency should have you super excited, especially with two Eagle players texting Legarius Sneed to come to Philly. Plus, Nick Sirianni calls cap on the Jalen Hurts story, and Howie Roseman's comments on Nolan Smith year two should have you saying, "Go Birds." What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today, as always, we got a lot to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all for a favor? Help your boy out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So let's start this off by talking about the one thing that Howie Roseman said that had Eagle Nation upset. He says, James Bradberry will return to the Eagles. His exact words were, he's under contract and a part of our plan. But what did we expect him to say? It's the NFL Combine interview, but any question could be asked. However, do you think he was going to say, yeah, he was trash last year, I'm looking to get rid of him? As much as a lot of people wanted to hear that, he was never going to say that. And just because he says he's under contract and part of our plan now, don't mean Howie Roseman ain't looking at other possibilities and looking at ways to get out of that contract. According to Victor Willams on Twitter, if the Eagles eventually decide to cut James Bradberry, a normal release would be $15 million dead cap hit, but a post-June 1st release would be $4.3 million dead cap hit in 2024 and $10.7 million cap hit in 2025. So again, Howie Roseman is going to exhaust all options and probably talk to Vic Fangio on how he feels about James Bradberry. Let's be honest. He did play a lot in the slot last year, could have messed him up. We definitely left him on an island with too much man, and he got exposed. We all know that Vic Fangio plays more zone. Who's to say we don't see more of the 2022 James Bradberry? I'm not holding my breath. However, my main point is I don't think Howie Roseman is locked in to keeping James Bradberry just yet. We're talking about February 26th. We got a lot of time to put a plan together, and we talked about the money that the Eagles could have start a free agency. Plus, I also love the fact that Howie Roseman made it a point to say he looks forward to be aggressively going after players for the 2024 season. Aggressively, key word. I don't know about you guys, but I hear the word aggressively, then I think about what ESPN Matt Bowen said as it pertains to Legarius Sneed. I remember yesterday's video where Pro Football Network also linked the Eagles to Legarius Sneed. And then we get the update per Jeremy Fowler, which Adam Schefter eventually quote tweeted and said, a new cornerback could be on the market. Well, let's take a look at Jeremy Fowler's actual report. Chiefs have informed Legarius Sneed they are prepared to use the franchise tag and are open to consummate a trade off it if no long-term deal is reached per sources. Sneed is agreeable to the scenario, giving him a chance to talk with other teams while Kansas City remains in play. Hey, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs part ways with Tyreek Hill when the price tag got too hefty. And again, they're talking about at least trying to tag him, trade him, so they do get something out of this situation. That's pretty smart. But again, that changes the dynamics on who wants to go out there and trade, then pay the following year for a top-notch corner. That being said, a few Eagle players, most notably Milton Willams and Boston Scott, are actively texting their former college teammate, cornerback Legarius Sneed, recruiting him to come to Philly, according to at Tony P. And this is where you might say, what about all the sources that are fake, complaining about the Eagles doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that? Hey, take it from the player himself. Milton Williams quote tweets it and puts the looking emoji, the eye emoji. That lets me know that he wants Sneed. I'm telling you, it is really building up to that. Again, not saying he's a guaranteed get, but let's take a look at Howie Roseman over his career. How does he bring corners to the city of brotherly love? According to at Philly Eagle News on Twitter, starting cornerbacks acquired via free agent or trade since 2010. Slay, Bradberry, Steven Nelson, Ronald Darby, Leotis McKelvin, Byron Maxwell, Kerry Williams, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Nnamdi Asomugha, and Asante Samuels. Say what you want about Asomugha, Kerry Williams, Byron Maxwell, and Leotis McKelvin, but they traded in or signed these guys as starters, and good or bad, they started for the Eagles. Now let's go back even further. Since 2003, draft picks to use at cornerback, first round, 0, none. 2002 was the last time, and again, like I said in yesterday's video, it wasn't Howie Roseman, but that was the last time the Eagles decided to take a corner in the first round, and it was Lito Shepherd. Anyways, second round, Eric Rowe and Sidney Jones, and they were starters for a small portion, but that's all we got via starting from the draft. Bottom line, they pay big bucks for their corners under Howie Roseman. I say all that to say this. I'm not guaranteeing L'Jarius Sneed to the Eagles and or Howie Roseman targeting him, but the buildup is real, and it is a Howie Roseman move if you look at the history at that position. And if the Chiefs are going to franchise tag him and trade him, it's right up his alley. Look what we traded for Big Play Slay. I'm just saying, it's a Howie move. Now, before we get to what was said about Nolan Smith in year 2, Jalen Hurts needing to be more vocal, they comment on that, plus much more. Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals making eating better every day easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with a pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meal delivered right to your door. You'll have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, plus veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrients-packed add-ons that help you make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Get started today and have a feel-good week of meals ready to go. Listen, working a full-time job, doing YouTube, time is of the essence. 2-minute meals, fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat up and eat whenever you are. Head to Factor75.com or click the link below and use code PhillyMike50. Remember, Philly Mike 50 has to be all capital letters to get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life. 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you are an active subscriber. I already got mine. Go get yours.
I'm telling you, go get your Factor. Link in the description and the pinned comment section. I promise you won't regret it. It's Philly Mike stamped. Moving on to some other things that were said via the Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman presser. Nick Sirianni was asked if he wants Jalen Hurts to be more of a vocal leader next year, and this was his exact words. If you lead and you're trying to be somebody you're not, it doesn't work. Everyone has to lead their way. Jalen has special qualities people will follow. He needs to do it his way. Jalen needs to lead how he does. AJ needs to lead in his way. Slay in his own way. Leading by your example is a great way to lead. So when the reports come out that Jalen Hurts needs to be a better leader, if the head coach, if guys like Howie Roseman don't think it, I don't want to hear that the franchise, the organization believes he needs to be more vocal. Maybe a guy or two in the locker room, but it was all good when he was taking them to the Super Bowl, and it was all good when we were 10-1. Again, the Philly media can be the worst when a team is going through something, and we went through something big and ugly last year to end the season. But if we come out in 2024, 3-4-0, not the same way we did last year, but 3 or 4-0, and we're beating teams the right way, all this is going to be gone. It's as simple as that. As for the 2 guys who are thinking about retiring this offseason, Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox, Dave Zangaro says that Howie Roseman said the Eagles are willing to wait to hear decisions from Jason Kelce and Fletch. He says he doesn't want to see those guys ever play in different uniforms. So that tells me if Fletch does want to continue playing football, we're going to try to get a deal done. Now, can we find something middle ground? Because we do got some young D tackles that will and must get on the field. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and we can't even forget Milton Willams, who's been playing some good football for the Birds. Again, Fletch decides to come back 5-6 mil, I'm down. If not, we got to move on. Hopefully he retires, because I wouldn't want to see him in another jersey like Pittsburgh or something like that. It is what it is. As for Jason Kelce, if he wants to come back, we can give him top dollar at the center position if it's only 1 year with incentives, or however we've been doing it the last couple years, for the simple fact that he's still playing at an all-pro level. Fletch ain't. Really good rotation piece, but Jason will be a starter, a full-time player, and you're not just getting a good player, great player, you're getting an all-pro center. So as Howie Roseman said, he's willing to wait to hear a decision, because the decision has to come soon for both Fletch and Kelce, due to the fact that we are going to do different things in free agency and the draft, depending on their decision to come back or to fully retire. Maybe he's looking at the offensive line if Jason Kelce finally decides to hang it up. So the decisions are going to come probably a little bit before March 13th when free agency opens, and 1000% before the April draft. What do you think? Let me know right now. Is Fletch back? Is Kelce back? Is neither of them back? Are both of them back? Let me know in the comment section, Eagle Nation. Another thing that was mentioned is something we've been talking about on this channel multiple times in the last 2 to 3 weeks, which is Howie Roseman on the importance of getting an extension done with Devonta Smith. And his exact words were, Devonta Smith is an incredible person and player. Those aren't the guys you want to leave. So again, keeping it vague because it's really the combine interview, right? We're supposed to be asking him if he's going to draft a corner or a linebacker, but we got to get that done. At this point, it saves us money in the short term. Extending Devonta Smith will actually save us $1.8 million. Yes, in 2025 or 6 or 7, the cap hit will rear its ugly head, but it's worth it. It's the Slim Reaper. He gets better every year, and you need a guy like him on your squad. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Last but not least, my guy Brennan Deeg said that Howie Roseman commented on Nolan Smith. He said, one of the guys who played well in the playoff game, he's got all the right tools, he's got all the right mentality, he's got to go out there and show it. And I absolutely believe he's going to be one of the players that just makes a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. We've seen it all across the league, and Nolan Smith got that dog in him, and I believe he's going to get it done in year 2. I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section as it pertains to everything we said. I love hearing from y'all. Drop the muscle emoji if you got nothing to say. Plus, hit the like button. It's free, it's easy. Subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss the videos. We out.